going to come out shortly. They're just picking up their stuff.
Okay, thank you.
So however you're going to want to show up on the news, do that. Yeah, you might not. Yeah. Pretend you do. Alright folks, so we're going to take you, we'll put you back over here. So just cluster here for the shot. So we're going to be standing here, but we want you right behind.
Okay.
And you can come closer.
Okay.
Right here? Great. Good.
Why don't we just wait for Mike in case there's any questions?
Yeah,
He should be right here.
So like if
Did anybody actually hear what she said? Yeah.
Oh, okay. I said like.
Okay.
I heard
Somebody yelled at us over. Let's just give it time.
Do you have the short shoulders? Right? Absolutely. I was like, I think it's cute. Because I can't. That's it.
left a layer in there too. Yeah, I took my layer off. So hot. Right? Yes, it was. Yeah, so I don't have my other layer. These were underneath. Fancy on TV.
All right, hello everyone. Good night. Good evening. I'm going to give you a bargaining update shortly. Before we do that, a member of our team is going to be speaking to a story about one of our bargaining priorities. So Valerie, here, come on.
Hi. Good evening. My name is Valerie Lewis. I am a member of our negotiations team. And tonight I'm going to be reading a message from one of my dear friends and colleagues. She could not be here today. You will see why as I read this message. My name is Amy Turner. I am a special education teacher at Countryside. I've worked at Seaside for over a decade, and it breaks my heart that we are here rather than in the classroom with our students who need us. I would love to talk to you about my Unit C colleagues, how they are the hardest working members of this union, how NPS wouldn't be able to function without them, how the vast majority of them work 2 or 3 jobs to make ends meet. I would love to tell you about the amazing work they do for their students and their school communities as a whole. But I can't be here in person. I'm currently 37 weeks pregnant and scheduled to be induced tomorrow. So instead, I need to tell you about how essential it is for this district to offer a humane family leave policy to all its employees. While we live in one of the few 7 countries that does not provide mandated parental leave, we are fortunate to live in a state that mandates 60 days paid parental leave for all its residents. This policy applies to everyone except municipal workers. That's me and my fellow public educators. The NTA has proposed that the City of Newton match the state standard of 60 paid days. We talk a lot about state standards in education, so it seems only fair that we ask the school committee to meet them too. The information that the school committee has put out looks like they're compromising to match our proposal. It looks like they're offering incremental increases to meet that 60 days. What they don't add is that they will limit our ability to use the sick bank if we don't have enough sick days to cover our leave. That idea is infuriating as it is ludicrous. I say that because despite having worked in this district for over a decade, I currently do not have enough sick time to cover my very imminent parental leave. I have a genetic mutation, BRCA1, that predisposes me to both breast and ovarian cancer. I've undergone numerous screenings and preventive procedures over the last 10 years to make sure that I remain cancer-free. As much as I might try, Dana-Farber doesn't schedule mammograms, MRIs, and ultrasounds around my classroom schedule. So I used my sick time to keep up with preventive care, and my oncology team was absolutely right. They found breast cancer at my annual mammogram a few years ago. Fortunately, my cancer was at an early stage and easily treatable because I used sick time to keep up with preventive care. I immediately went a bilateral mastectomy and reconstructive surgery, using even more sick time to cover an extended medical leave. So now, here I am, finally on the precipice of becoming a parent, and I am worrying about what will happen next because I do not have enough sick days to cover my leave. I would like to be able to recover at home and care for my newborn child like every other Massachusetts resident. But if the school committee has their way, I might be faced with a shortened, inadequate leave or be forced to take the year off and not earn another paycheck until September. My situation is not unique. The school committee's proposal would leave many employees and would-be parents unsupported. An employee would need more than 4 years of perfect attendance in order to accrue enough sick time to cover one parental leave. That means avoiding COVID, the flu, strep, throat, stomach bugs for 4 straight years. It means not taking sick time to engage in timely preventive care and screenings like the ones that saved my life. It would also mean that MPS employee would need to work an additional 4 years with perfect attendance before they could cover a second parental leave. We teach our children to meet standards every day. All we are asking is that the school committee do the same by matching the current state standard of 60 days parental leave for all their employees. And it would be great if they could do that today so my colleagues can get back to work, my students can get back to their classrooms, and I can safely deliver my daughter without worrying if the school committee will prevent me from caring for her the way she deserves. Enough is enough. These are the words of Amy Turner, a special education teacher. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to provide you the bargaining update. I'm Ryan Normandin. I'm a member of the negotiations team. We, the NTA's negotiation team, are appalled at the lack of progress in these negotiations. The NTA negotiations team has been available day and night to bargain. And we have an urgent sense of responsibility to reopen schools, but that can only happen when we have a fair contract. The school committee today has continued to reject our proposals. And let me be clear about what that means. They are refusing to provide our Unit C professionals with a living wage. They are not budging on a humane modern parental leave for both parents in a family. As you just heard, that's very important. They are denying our students much needed mental health supports, including a social worker in every building. Why? Because Mayor Fuller and her school committee are not serious about settling this contract. They are not serious about getting kids back into school. They haven't ever been serious about doing this. They spend their time fighting to ensure that there is not adequate substitute coverage. They fight to ensure that when our students need Unit C supports for safety, they don't get these supports. They fight to keep our vital Unit C professionals in poverty. Consider for a moment if the school committee got everything they wanted. Poverty wages for Unit C, a parental leave policy out of the dark ages, unsafe schools without proper staffing, huge classes, overworked teachers, and unsupported students. These are not the Newton Public Schools that our students deserve, and these are not the Newton Public Schools that our families need. Mayor Fuller and her school committee try to break our spirit with fines, not understanding that every day we are out here, every day the community joins with us, standing up for our students and their families, we get stronger. We implore Mayor Fuller and her school committee to bargain with us and end not only the short-term crisis of schools being closed, but the long-term systematic dismantling of the crown jewel of this city, its public school system. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mike Zillis. I'm the president of the Newton Teachers Association, and if you have any questions, I'm here to answer them.
Will
Yes.
school be going on tomorrow?
No, it will not.
Like, what is the message, or what is it going to take to end this? I mean, obviously there's a lot of passion, and these teachers want to go back to the classroom.
Well, I can tell you that our members are doing everything they can to get the message out there. They're knocking on doors. They're standing out all day. They come to our rallies. They're making phone calls to all of our elected officials. They are doing everything in their power, and our bargaining team is available whenever the school committee is ready to bargain with us. They just are saying no, as Ryan just said. They're saying no to everything.
Mike, are more talks scheduled right now? What's the plan?
We have a plan to meet with the school committee tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Here.
With those fines from the Middlesex County judge doubling every day, how much time can you hold out?
As long as it takes. One more day than the school committee is willing to hold out.
So what happened today exactly? Were there talks? Was there no movement?
We had a brief meeting in the morning. We had presented them yesterday with a comprehensive list of our proposals in the form of a memorandum of agreement, what that would look like if they were to agree with it. At their request, they asked for all of this through the mediator, so we told them, this is what we have on the table. This is what we're asking for. This is what we're bargaining for. This is what we're demanding. And they came in and they wanted to talk about one minor part of our contract negotiations that they had put on the table, and they had wanted to counter. We were picking at language that it was an agreement that should have been done a year ago. It was counterproductive to be in the room talking about this for as long as we've been talking about it. I would say this particular issue that they put on the table since we've gone on strike, between what time we've put into it and what the time they put into it, it's been 15 hours. That's ridiculous.
They said that you walked out around 1 p.m. just before the rally. Can you tell us about that incident?
We did walk out. We walked out because they weren't willing to give us any responses on anything that we prepared them. There was no reason to be in the room. Anything else?
Will there be picketing tomorrow?
Absolutely the same thing. I don't want to say same thing because I think people are trying to find new and creative ways to get our message out there every day. But yes, our members will report to their buildings, to their home base in the morning, and we will begin another day of spreading our message.
Are you more optimistic at this time, or is it just more of the same for you guys? Is it more frustrating? Where are you right now compared to yesterday?
I'm angry. I'm angry that we're in this situation where we're on strike and we feel the urgency of settling a contract. And I think the school committee's just waiting to see what effect those fines have. And they think that will bring our strike to an end, that they can break us. And that just seems absurd to me.
Are you still willing to compromise with whatever the school committee puts on the table? Still have that back and forth?
Well, we haven't had them offer any compromises to date, so it's kind of hard to say that we're willing to compromise. We have offered them numerous compromise proposals over the last 16 months, and each and every time they have refused to negotiate them. So it's hard. They want what they want. They want to pay us very little, and they don't want to honor any of the proposals we have on the table. It's pretty hard to compromise with somebody that's taken that attitude towards you.
Has the mayor continued to not take you guys up on your invitation to join the negotiations?
She has not been in negotiations to date.
Are you still inviting her?
We would like to see her come. Absolutely. Can I ask a question and then answer it? So, on numerous occasions, it's been brought up by the school committee and by the mayor that if they honor our contract, that there will be severe cuts in the Newton Public Schools. First of all, what I want to say about that is there were severe cuts in the Newton Public Schools in 2022 when the mayor had a $30 million surplus. There were severe cuts in the Newton Public Schools in 2023 when the mayor had a $30 million surplus. This year, and in addition to the $30 million surplus, she had a $26 million overlay account that was available to her. So the history of cutting the Newton Public Schools precedes these negotiations. Much of what we have in our proposal would bolster and sustain our students and our staff and provide them with more of the resources they need to do their jobs well. We're demanding that. We are demanding that we have protections for our students and for our working conditions so that we can do our job well. We want to know what's going to be different if the mayor cuts the budget again this year, which whatever contract we negotiate, I fully expect that she will cut the budget again this year. I fully expect that, and we'll be out there fighting that again. What I want to know is, so what's going to be different? I mean, whether we sign a contract that we need that we're demanding or not, they are promising cuts. They just keep coming. I don't know why they're trying to say that if we get a good contract, there will be cuts. The reality is the mayor cuts the schools. She chronically underfunds the schools. The only thing the school committee needs to realize is the only thing that is going to change that pattern is standing up to her and saying, no more. Somebody's got to defy the mayor. We invite the school committee to defy her with us. And that's why we want her at the table. We want to say that to her in front of the school committee, and we want to say to them, say no to her. Enough is enough, Mayor Fuller. 2 years running right after COVID of cuts. I want to name one other number that I think if you think about this, you'll find it appalling. In 2010, we were recovering this city from a major recession, and the federal government and the state government wasn't doing a whole lot to help out. And the property tax revenues were they were just terrible, right? This year, or 2 years ago, we went through a recession that was caused by COVID, the pandemic. However, in this case, the federal government and the state government came through. In the last round, the city received $63 million in ARPA funding. Only $13.5 million of the $63 million the mayor received in ARPA funding went into the Newton Public Schools. And of that, $10 million was for building projects that the mayor had already committed to. And it's the mayor, the municipal side of this city government, that is obligated to pay for those building projects. That does not come out of the operating budget of the Newton Public Schools. So what I want, the number I want you to get out there to the public is, of $63 million in ARPA funding, $3.5 million went into the Newton Public Schools operating budget. Tell me that this mayor is not chronically underfunding the schools. Tell me that she cares about these schools, that they are a priority for her, like she says they are. Her spending patterns tell everyone in this city what her priorities are. If you don't have another question, I'll find one myself. So you better ask one.
Are we going to see this on the news?
Yes. Correct.
More questions? Well, we've got a lot of fines. And I'm just going to be perfectly honest. We have a website. There is a place that residents can go and donate to us to help us fight these awful fines that they're giving us. That's one thing. You can still get a Newton Support Newton Educator sign and put it in your lawn if you can get it into the frozen ground. You can come out and stand with us on the line. You can write letters to the mayor. You can call the mayor's office. You can call the school committee. You can write letters to the school committee. You can come to these press conferences, which I appreciate very much. There are a lot of things that you can do. I will say that I'm there dealing with negotiations. Our contract action team, reach out to them, and they will help you get hooked up with our campaign so that you can provide some support to us. Thank you. Great question. Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions? All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
No, I don't think so.
I know that they're going to be back here at 1 with the rally, and I know at 11 the clergy contingent is going to go to the mayor's office to deliver the letter in person at 11 at the mayor's office tomorrow.